The crystalline chamber of the Galactic Council stretched beyond human comprehension, its geometrically perfect walls housing the representatives of 36 spacefaring species. Dr. Amanda Mitchell stood at its center, her diplomatic smile masking the racing of her heart. Earth's first ambassador to the stars wore her dress blues with pride, a uniform that represented humanity's greatest achievement, independent faster than light travel. And how did your species achieve this level of technology? The question came from a being of pure energy, its voice resonating through the universal translator with unmistakable condescension. Counselor Vix, the eldest of the Lumini, had been the most vocal in questioning humanity's presence. Through scientific innovation, honored counselor, Amanda replied, her voice steady despite the pressure. Our quantum drive system. A ripple of what could only be described as laughter echoed through the chamber. The assembled representatives, each more alien than the last, shared their amusement through various forms of communication, light pulses, telepathic waves, and even gravitational fluctuations. Mechanical devices. Another counselor, a crystalline being named Zeth, interjected. Your species relies on external tools to break the light barrier. Amanda squared her shoulders. Yes, counselor. Our engineers and scientists have worked for generations to. Primitives. Vix interrupted, his energy form pulsing with dismissal. We achieved faster than light travel through pure thought, through centuries of meditation and understanding of the universe's true nature. Your species builds crude machines, like children playing with blocks. The chamber's temperature seemed to drop several degrees. Amanda felt the weight of dozens of alien gazes, each one judging humanity through their own advanced lens. She had expected skepticism, but this level of derision cut deep. With all due respect, she pressed on. Our methods may differ, but the results. The results are an affront to the natural order, a third counselor declared. This one, a being of living mathematics called Xi, projected equations into the air. Your method of travel creates ripples in the quantum fabric. It is inelegant, dangerous, and proof that your species is not ready for galactic society. Amanda's hands clenched behind her back. 6 years of diplomatic training hadn't prepared her for this level of prejudice. We have achieved peace on our world, she argued. We have united our planet, colonized our system, and reached the stars through our own efforts. Surely that counts for something. Peace through exhaustion is not the same as peace through enlightenment, Vex responded. The other counselors nodded in agreement, their various forms of expression conveying the same message. Humanity was not welcome. The final verdict came swiftly. A quarantine zone would be established around Sol's system. No human ships would be permitted beyond the Kuiper Belt. Any attempt to break this quarantine would be met with appropriate measures. As Amanda was escorted from the chamber by beings of living light, she caught a glimpse of something interesting. One of the younger council members, an energy being named Zix, watched her with what seemed like curiosity rather than contempt. Their gazes met briefly, and Amanda felt a flutter of hope. Back aboard her ship, the ESS Pathfinder, Amanda stared at the quantum communication device that would relay her report to Earth. Her fingers hovered over the controls as she considered her words carefully. Finally, she began. To the United Earth Government, Office of Extraterrestrial Relations. First contact status. Negative. The Galactic Council has rejected our application for membership. However, she paused, a small smile playing at her lips. They have made a critical error in judgment. They believe that our reliance on technology makes us weak. They don't understand that human innovation comes not from meditation, but from necessity. They've given us something precious, underestimation. She ended the recording and turned to her personal log. The galaxy may have rejected us today, but they don't understand human nature. We don't accept no for an answer. We never have. And while they meditate on their superiority, we'll do what humans do best. We'll innovate, adapt, and prove them wrong. The humanist movement begins today. The Pathfinder's quantum drive hummed to life, ready to take her home to a humanity that would need to prepare for a very different future than they had imagined. 10 years after the Galactic Council's rejection, the red sands of Mars concealed humanity's greatest secret. 3 kilometers beneath the surface of Valles Marineris, Dr. Amanda Mitchell watched as Jason Turner conducted his latest experiment in the quantum interface chamber. "Ready for jazz trial number 217, Jason announced, his fingers dancing across the holographic controls. The chamber hummed with energy as he placed the neural interface band around his head, playing Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. The observation room's screens lit up with quantum readouts as the music began. Amanda leaned forward, her gray-streaked hair falling from its neat bun. This time was different. She could feel it in the way the numbers flowed across the screens. "Look at the pattern recognition matrix," Dr. Sarah Wells whispered from beside her. The young physicist had been the first to suggest using music as a template. "The quantum field it's dancing." Indeed, the holographic display showed something unprecedented. As Jason's consciousness, guided by the improvisational flow of jazz, merged with the quantum interface, the usual chaos of quantum particles began to form coherent patterns. "It's the improvisation," Jason said through the chamber's comm system, his voice tight with concentration. "Humans don't just follow patterns. We create them on the fly. We feel the music, adapt to it, become part of it." The energy readings spiked as Jason's mind, enhanced by the interface, began to actually influence quantum states, not through years of meditation like the council species, but through pure human intuition and creativity. Amanda pressed the intercom. "Try the Bach counterpoint now, just like we discussed." The music changed, and with it, the quantum patterns evolved. Classical structure met jazz improvisation, creating something the universe had never seen before: ordered chaos, directed by human consciousness. "Recording all data," Sarah announced, her fingers flying over her console. "The quantum stability is off the charts. This is better than anything the council species have achieved with their meditation techniques." Amanda allowed herself a small smile. A decade of secret work, hidden from the council's long reach, was finally bearing fruit. The humanist movement had grown from a simple act of defiance into a full-scale underground research program, with bases throughout the solar system. The chamber powered down as Jason removed his interface band, his face flushed with excitement. "We did it," he said, walking into the observation room on slightly shaky legs. "We finally proved that human consciousness has something unique to offer." "More than that," Amanda replied, bringing up the long-term sensor data. "We've proven that our primitive approach to space travel wasn't wrong. It was just incomplete. We needed to combine our technology with our humanity." Sarah nodded, still analyzing the data. "The council species achieve their results through perfect order and control. We're achieving similar results through controlled chaos and adaptation. It's 2 different paths to the same destination. But ours might be better," Jason added, accepting a cup of water from Amanda. "Their way requires centuries of training. Ours just requires being human." The moment of triumph was interrupted by a priority alert from their deep space monitoring network. Amanda's blood ran cold as she read the message. "What is it?" Sarah asked, noting the change in her superior's expression. "Something's wrong with the outer systems," Amanda said quietly. "The automated probes we smuggled past the quarantine zone are detecting massive quantum instabilities. The very fabric of space-time is starting to unravel out there." Jason moved to look at the data, his earlier exhaustion forgotten. "These readings, they're like nothing we've ever seen. It's as if reality itself is coming apart at the seams." Amanda straightened her uniform, a habit from her diplomatic days that had never quite faded. "Get me a secure channel to the council," she ordered. "They need to know what's coming." "They won't listen," Sarah reminded her. "They never do." "No," Amanda agreed, her eyes hard with determination. "But when this threat reaches their precious meditation chambers, they'll remember who tried to warn them. And maybe then, they'll finally understand that the galaxy needs what humanity has to offer, not just our technology, but our chaos, our creativity, our very nature." As the warning signal was prepared, the jazz music continued to play softly in the background, its improvisational notes a reminder that sometimes the greatest strengths come from embracing what others see as weaknesses. The emergency transmission cut through the council's regular meditation session, like a thunderclap through a monastery. Dr. Amanda Mitchell's holographic form materialized in the center of the crystalline chamber, a technical feat that should have been impossible given the quarantine barriers. "Distinguished council members," she began, her voice carrying the weight of urgency, "I come before you today not as a representative of Earth, but as a herald of extinction." Councillor Vix's energy form flared with indignation. "How dare you breach our sacred space? The quarantine is the least of our problems," Amanda interrupted, triggering a display of data streams around her hologram. "Our deep space network has detected something approaching the galaxy, something that defies your understanding of physics." The younger council member, Zix, moved forward, their light form dimming with interest. "Explain." Jason Turner's hologram joined Amanda's, his hands manipulating the data streams with practiced ease. "We're detecting a wave of pure entropy moving through space. It's not just destroying matter, it's unmaking the forces that hold reality together." The chamber erupted in a cacophony of alien communications. Light pulses, gravitational waves, and psychic emanations filled the space as the council species expressed their dismissal. "Impossible," declared Councillor Zeth, their crystalline form refracting light in patterns of disbelief. "Our meditation techniques would have sensed such a disturbance." Sarah Wells appeared next, adding her own hologram to the growing human presence. "Your techniques are based on order and harmony. This is pure chaos, something your methods aren't designed to detect. But human technology, combined with our natural affinity for chaos." She let the sentence hang. "More primitive fearmongering," Vix dismissed. "First you pollute space with your mechanical travel. Now you invent threats to forces to accept you." Amanda's expression hardened. "Probe 793, she commanded. The holographic display shifted, showing real-time footage from the edge of known space. The council members watched as an entire star system simply unraveled. Matter didn't so much destroy itself as forget how to exist. "That was the Zeldan system," Six said quietly, "home to one of our most advanced meditation colonies." "Was is the operative word," Jason added grimly. "The entropy wave reduced 13 billion years of physical laws to random quantum noise in less than an hour, and it's moving toward the core worlds." Vix's energy form pulsed with what might have been fear, quickly masked by authority. "We will convene our greatest minds through pure thought and meditation." "You'll die," Amanda stated flatly, "just like the Zeldans died. This isn't a problem you can meditate away. It's coming for all of us, and we need to work together." "Together," another council member scoffed. "With primitives." Sarah stepped forward, her hologram highlighting new data streams. "We've found a way to create stable zones within the entropy effect, using a combination of human consciousness and quantum technology." "Enough," Vix thundered. "This session is terminated. The quarantine will be strengthened. Any further attempts at communication will be met with force." As the council began to disperse, Zix lingered. "How long?" they asked quietly. 8 months until it reaches the outer council worlds," Amanda replied. 10 until Earth. We'll keep broadcasting data as long as we can. Some of your people must see the truth." The transmission cut off, leaving the humans standing in their underground command center on Mars. Amanda braced her hands against the communication console, head bowed. "Well, that went about as expected," Jason said, trying to lighten the mood. "Not quite," Amanda replied, a slight smile playing at her lips. "Did you see how many of the younger council members were paying attention? How many of them looked afraid?" Sarah nodded slowly. "They're not as confident as they pretend to be. Some of them must suspect their methods aren't infallible." "Exactly." Amanda straightened up. "We're not just fighting the entropy wave. We're fighting 10,000 years of galactic prejudice." But for the first time, she gestured to the data streams still flowing across their screens. "For the first time, reality itself is on our side." "And if they don't listen?" Jason asked. Amanda's eyes hardened with determination. "Then we do what humanity has always done. We save everyone anyway, whether they want us to or not." The meditation masters of the Andromeda Outpost were among the most respected beings in known space. For 10,000 years, they had maintained perfect quantum harmony through pure thought alone. Their great crystal spires, home to 3 million beings, stood as a testament to the power of mind over matter. They were the first to die. Amanda Mitchell watched the footage for the 100th time, her face illuminated by the holographic display in the Mars Command Center. The recording, captured by one of their hidden probes, showed the moment the entropy wave hit the outpost. "Play it again," she ordered. "Focus on the master's response." The scene reset. The wave approached, a visible distortion in space-time that defied natural law. The masters, glowing beings of pure mental energy, joined their consciousness in a last stand against chaos. For a brief moment, their combined power seemed to hold back the impossible. Until it didn't. "Stop," Sarah called out, pointing to a specific data stream. There. They almost had it. Their meditation actually created a momentary bubble of stability. Jason leaned forward, his eyes scanning the numbers. But they couldn't maintain it. They were too perfect. "Exactly," Amanda said quietly. "They tried to fight chaos with pure order. But that's not how the universe works. That's not how life works." The command center's door slid open, admitting a junior officer who looked like he'd aged years in hours. "Ma'am, the council's emergency broadcast just went live. There, you should see this." The main screen switched to show the council chamber. Gone was the usual serenity. Dozens of species crowded the space, their various forms of communication creating a visual and psychic cacophony of fear. Councillor Vix's voice cut through the chaos. "Order. We must maintain order. The situation is under control. Our most advanced masters are implementing a galaxy-wide meditation network. Through pure thought. The Zelvin colony is gone." A voice interrupted. "The Andromeda Outpost is gone. How many more must die before we admit our methods are failing?" The camera panned to show Zix, their young energy form pulsing with defiance. "The humans warned us. They showed us evidence. They even demonstrated a potential solution." Silence. Vix's form expanded, filling the chamber with blinding light. "We will not debase ourselves by adopting primitive technologies. The path of pure thought has guided us for 10,000 years. It will not fail us now." Amanda switched off the feed. "How many systems have we lost contact with?" 17 in the past week, Sarah reported. "The wave is accelerating. Our latest models show it reaching the core worlds in less than 2 months." Jason pulled up their latest test results. The human quantum interface is showing promise. In small-scale tests, we can create stable fields that resist the entropy effect. But scaling up to save entire systems. "We'll find a way," Amanda stated. Her hand brushed the neural interface band she now wore constantly, Its quantum circuits a blend of human innovation and necessity. We have to. The junior officer cleared his throat. There's one more thing, ma'am. We're getting signals. Hundreds of them. From all over the quarantine zone. The main screen filled with communication requests. Young council species members, colony leaders, even some mid-level officials, all reaching out in secret. They're asking for help, Sarah whispered. They're asking for us. Amanda straightened her uniform, a grim smile playing at her lips. Patch me through to all of them. It's time to show the galaxy what primitives can do. The council will try to stop us, Jason warned. Let them try, Amanda replied. They can either accept our help or watch their perfect order crumble into entropy. Either way, the age of pure thought is over. The time for action has come. As if to emphasize her words, another alert flashed. 3 more systems had gone dark. The wave of entropy rolled on, uncaring about meditation or technology, about pride or prejudice. In its wake, the greatest civilization in known space was about to learn a harsh lesson about the value of imperfection. The testing chamber hummed with energy as Dr. Amanda Mitchell connected her neural interface to the quantum core. Around her, 20 other volunteers did the same, their faces showing a mix of determination and fear. This was test number 342. They were running out of time. Everyone ready? Jason Turner's voice came through the chamber speakers. Remember, don't fight the chaos. Dance with it. Sarah Wells monitored the quantum readings from her station. Entropy field generating in 3, 2, 1. The air inside the chamber shimmered as a miniature version of the galaxy-threatening wave formed. Amanda felt the familiar pull of discord at the edges of her consciousness. But this time, instead of trying to impose order like the council species would, she did something different. She started humming. The other volunteers joined in, creating an impromptu harmony. Through their neural interfaces, their combined consciousness began to weave patterns in the quantum field. Not perfect, not orderly, but beautifully, perfectly human. Look at these readings, Sarah exclaimed. The stable zone is forming, and it's growing. On the test floor, small objects that had been disintegrating in the entropy field began to stabilize. A pencil, a coffee cup, a book, all maintaining their structure despite the chaos around them. Keep going, Jason urged. You're doing it. Amanda opened her eyes, watching as the stability field expanded. Through the neural interface, she could feel every fluctuation in the quantum matrix. The other volunteers' consciousness danced with hers in an intricate ballet of order and chaos. Then something went wrong. Power spike. Sarah's warning came too late. The quantum core surged, overloading 3 neural interfaces. Their users collapsed, blood trickling from their noses. Shut it down, Amanda commanded, breaking the connection. The entropy field dissipated, leaving behind the smell of ozone and the bitter taste of almost success. Medical teams rushed in as Jason and Sarah entered the chamber. The injured volunteers were already being treated, their vitals stable. We were close, Jason said, reviewing the data on his tablet. Closer than ever before. The field held for almost 6 minutes. Amanda helped a shaken volunteer to her feet. But it's not enough. We need to hold it for hours, maybe days. And we need to scale it up by a factor of millions. The Council's latest broadcast claims they found a solution, Sarah reported, her voice heavy with skepticism. They're gathering 10,000 masters for a combined meditation. They're going to get themselves killed, Amanda said. She walked to the chamber's observation window, looking out at the red Martian landscape above. We're missing something. Something basic. Jason joined her at the window. What if we're thinking too big? The Council always goes for grand gestures, galaxy-wide meditations, combined consciousness events. But humans, we solve big problems by breaking them down. Sarah's eyes widened. Like a symphony orchestra, each player handles their own part. But together, they create something greater than the sum of its parts. Amanda finished. She turned to face the chamber, her mind racing. We don't need one massive stability field. We need millions of small ones, working in concert. A network of human consciousness, Jason said, already running calculations. Each person managing their own small piece of space-time, but connected through the quantum interface, Sarah added, supporting each other, adapting to changes, just like jazz musicians, Amanda smiled. Each playing their own part, improvising when needed, but always in harmony with the whole. She activated the base-wide communication system. Attention all personnel. I need every available pilot, engineer, and volunteer in the main hangar in 1 hour. We're going to try something new. As the announcement echoed through the base, Amanda looked at the medical teams still treating the injured volunteers. No more testing. No more simulations. The wave will reach Earth in less than a month. Whatever we're going to do, we do it now. The Council won't like it, Sarah warned. The Council won't have a choice, Amanda replied. Sometimes the only way to save order is to embrace a little chaos, and nobody does chaos better than humans. The launch bay of the Mars underground base stretched for miles, housing humanity's secret fleet. 500 ships, each modified with quantum interface cores, waited for their moment. Dr. Amanda Mitchell stood before the assembled crews, 2,000 volunteers ready to break the quarantine and save a galaxy that had rejected them. The Council's barriers are strongest at the edge of our solar system, she explained, the holographic display behind her showing their flight path. But their focus has been on keeping us in, not on watching their own borders. We'll exit through the gap their fear created. Jason Turner stepped forward, his neural interface glowing softly. Each ship is equipped with our latest quantum core. Remember your training. Don't fight the entropy wave. Move with it, guide it, like we practiced. What about the Council's defense fleet? A young pilot asked. Sarah Wells activated another hologram, this one showing recent intelligence. They're gathering their forces for one final meditation attempt. Most of their ships are being used to transport masters to the core worlds. Amanda smiled. And we have friends out there. Many friends. As if on cue, the main screen lit up with incoming transmissions. Dozens of young Council species members appeared, led by Zix's familiar energy form. The meditation chambers are empty, Zix reported. Many of our generation have chosen a different path. We're ready on our end. Amanda nodded to the communication officers. Send the signal. Operation Resonance begins now. The launch bay doors opened to the Martian sky as pilots rushed to their ships. Amanda, Jason, and Sarah boarded the lead vessel, the ESS Harmony. Its sleek design bore little resemblance to the crude mechanical ships the Council had once mocked. All ships, report in, Amanda called from the bridge. One by one, the fleet signaled their readiness. Breaking atmosphere in 5 minutes, the navigation officer announced. Council sensors will detect us the moment we leave Mars orbit. Jason connected his interface to the ship's core, ready to generate the stealth field. Sarah. Quantum harmonics aligned, she confirmed. We'll need perfect synchronization from all ships. The fleet rose as one, 500 vessels moving in formation. As they cleared the atmosphere, their quantum cores hummed to life. Through their neural interfaces, the crews began their carefully practiced symphony of consciousness. The first Council alert came just as they passed Mars' outer moon. Unidentified vessels, you are in violation of quarantine. Return to your designated zone or face immediate. The message cut off as the fleet's combined quantum field disrupted the Council's communications. They accelerated toward the Kuiper Belt, where the quarantine barriers waited. Council ships launching from Luna Base, Sarah reported. 6 minutes until intercept. Amanda opened a channel to the fleet. Remember, we're not here to fight. Our mission is to save lives, including theirs. Maintain formation and trust in each other. The Council ships appeared on their sensors, advanced vessels powered by pure thought. But as they approached the human fleet, something unexpected happened. Young Council members, led by Zix, emerged from hidden positions throughout the solar system. Their ships, modified with human quantum technology, joined the formation. The next generation stands with Earth, Zix broadcasted on all frequencies. The age of isolation is over. The Council vessels hesitated, their perfect order disrupted by this display of unity. In that moment, the combined fleet reached the quarantine barrier. All ships, Amanda commanded, begin the resonance protocol. 2,000 human minds, joined by hundreds of young Council allies, connected through their quantum interfaces. Their consciousness flowed together not in rigid formation, but in a dance of controlled chaos. The barrier, designed to resist force, had no defense against harmony. Like a soap bubble meeting a gentle breeze, the quarantine field parted before them. "We're through," Jason announced, his voice filled with wonder. "Course set for the core worlds." Amanda looked at the sensor display, showing the entropy wave's unstoppable advance. "Now comes the hard part," she said. "Let's show the galaxy what happens when order and chaos learn to dance together." Behind them, Earth's sun shone like a beacon of hope. Ahead, the stars waited for humanity's symphony. The combined fleet hung in formation around the galactic core, a delicate web of ships spanning light years. At its center, the ESS Harmony pulsed with energy as Dr. Amanda Mitchell made her final adjustments to the neural interface. "The entropy wave will reach us in 6 minutes," Sarah Wells announced, her hands dancing over the quantum controls. "All ships report ready." Through the bridge viewport, Amanda could see the wave approaching, a curtain of unreality that devoured everything in its path. The Council's last-ditch meditation attempt had failed hours ago, taking 10,000 masters with it. "Open a channel to all ships," she ordered. "And make sure the Council chambers can hear us." Jason Turner connected his interface, linking his consciousness to the ship's core. "Broadcasting now." Amanda took a deep breath. "To all ships, all species, all who can hear. What comes next isn't about proving anyone right or wrong. It's about survival. Not through perfect order, not through pure chaos, but through the balance between them." She nodded to Sarah, who began the sequence they practiced 1,000 times. "Begin the symphony." Throughout the fleet, 2,000 human pilots connected their neural interfaces. Their alien allies, led by Zix, added their own consciousness to the growing network. But unlike the Council's rigid meditation, this was something new. The first notes of Bach's toccata and fugue in D minor filled every ship, every mind. The classical structure provided the framework. Then came the jazz. Miles Davis, John Coltrane, the improvised soul of human creation. "Wave contact in 3 minutes," Sarah called out. Through the neural network, Amanda could feel every pilot, every ship. Their consciousness flowed together like an orchestra tuning up, each mind finding its place in the greater whole. "Second movement," Jason announced. The music changed, classical and jazz merging into something new. The ships began to move, their formation shifting like a living thing. The entropy wave hit the first line of ships. For a moment, everything seemed to hold its breath. Then, through their combined consciousness, they felt it. The dance had begun. Where the Council had tried to fight chaos with pure order, the human fleet moved with it, through it, around it. "It's working." Sarah's voice was filled with wonder. "The quantum fields are holding." Each ship generated its own bubble of stability, but it was the connections between them that made the difference. Like jazz musicians playing off each other, The fleet adapted to every fluctuation in the wave. When one section weakened, others flowed in to support it. Amanda opened her eyes, watching as the wave of entropy met their web of ships. Instead of breaking through, it began to split, diverted around their formation like water around stones. "Core Worlds report all clear," Jason said. "The wave is being channeled away from populated space." But the strain was beginning to show. Blood trickled from Amanda's nose as she maintained her connection to the network. Around the fleet, other pilots were showing similar signs of stress. "We can't hold this forever," Sarah warned. "We don't have to," Amanda replied through gritted teeth. "Just long enough for the wave to pass." Everyone. Final movement. The music swelled one last time. Every human, every young council ally, every being in the fleet poured their consciousness into the network. They weren't fighting the entropy wave anymore. They were becoming part of it, guiding it, transforming it. Through the neural interface, Amanda felt something extraordinary. The wave wasn't just being diverted, it was being changed. The chaos they'd embraced was becoming part of the universe's natural order. "Look," Jason pointed to the sensors. Where the wave passed through their network, it left behind something new. Space-time reformed, but different, more flexible, more alive. "All ships report," Amanda called out, her voice weak but triumphant. "Sound off." One by one, the fleet responded. They'd lost no one. Against all odds, against the Council's certainty, against the very forces that governed reality, humanity had proven that imperfection could be the greatest strength of all. As the last echoes of their symphony faded, Amanda looked out at the changed space before them. "Send word to Earth," she said quietly. "Tell them the galaxy is ready for a new song." 1 year after the wave, the crystalline chamber of the Galactic Council looked very different. Gone were the rigid hierarchies and separation of species. In their place, a new circle had formed, where once primitive humans sat alongside their former critics. Dr. Amanda Mitchell stood at the center of the chamber, her neural interface now a badge of honor rather than a mark of technological dependence. Beside her, Jason Turner and Sarah Wells presented the latest data on the changed regions of space. "The areas touched by the wave have stabilized," Sarah explained, her holographic display showing the new patterns in space-time. "What we once saw as entropy was actually evolution. The universe wasn't coming apart, it was trying to grow." Councillor Zix, now the leader of the Reformed Council, moved forward. Their energy form sparkled with the same quantum patterns that human ships had generated during their symphony. And we were too rigid to see it, too convinced of our own perfection. "The old ways weren't wrong," Amanda said, her voice carrying the weight of experience. "They were just incomplete, like an orchestra playing without its jazz section." The chamber, once a place of stern silence, filled with appreciative laughter. Many of the council species had begun studying human music, finding in its controlled chaos a new way to understand the universe. Jason activated another display, showing the network of learning centers that had sprung up across the galaxy. "We're seeing unprecedented cooperation. Young council members learning human innovation, humans learning meditation techniques. Every day, we find new ways to combine our strengths. And the results speak for themselves," Sarah added. The display shifted to show the latest breakthrough, a ship design that combined council pure thought technology with human quantum interfaces. "We're not just surviving together, we're thriving." The former Councillor Vix, now a student of human methods despite their age, raised a point of light. "But what of the changed regions? The space where the wave passed through?" Amanda smiled. "That's actually the most exciting part." She gestured, and the display zoomed in on one such region. "The new space-time configuration is more flexible, more responsive. It's like the universe itself learned to improvise." Chips passing through these zones report increased efficiency. Jason explained. Both pure thought and quantum drives work better there. It's as if the space itself remembers the symphony we played and continues to dance with us. A young energy being, one of many new council initiates, asked the question that had been on many minds. But could it happen again? Another wave? Probably, Amanda admitted. The universe is change. But now we know that fighting change isn't the answer. Adapting to it, dancing with it, making it part of our song. That's how we move forward. Sarah pulled up one final display, the construction of the new Galactic Academy. Unlike the old meditation chambers, this was a place where all methods, all species, and all approaches were welcome. We call it the Harmony Institute, she announced. A place where the next generation will learn not to fear chaos or worship order, but to find the balance between them. As the chamber filled with approving murmurs, Amanda felt the familiar warmth of the neural interface. Through it, she could sense the new patterns in space-time, the dance of quantum particles that had once seemed like the end of everything. 1 year ago, she addressed the chamber. We faced extinction because we were too divided to see the truth. That perfection isn't about being flawless. It's about being complete. Every voice in the symphony, every note in the song, every being in the galaxy has something to contribute. Zix's light form pulsed in agreement. The humans have a saying, do they not, about the sum being greater than its parts. We'd have many sayings, Amanda laughed. But maybe it's time for a new one. The galaxy once ignored the humanists until we all learned to breathe together. Outside the chamber, the changed space sparkled with new possibilities, a testament to what could happen when order and chaos learned to dance as one. The song of the universe played on, and this time, every species had a part to play.